Welcome to the Art of Money podcast with Art McPherson.
And thanks for checking out the Art of Money podcast. My name is Mark Owens alongside Art McPherson and Luke McCarty. All the information for the McPherson Financial Group, you can find it at theartofmoneyradio.com. There's still a lot of couples, and I'm sure you see this, that they subscribe to that traditional model of the husbands manage the finances while the wives take the role in child raising and daily bill paying. But as we know, most women outlive men. So how important is it for the women in the relationship to get involved with retirement planning much sooner than later?
It's always important to make sure, right, that the family, the husband and wife, right, the married couple are on the same page. Because if they're not, right, one of them is creating a plan and the other one could be secretly or not secretly kind of destroying it, right? The whole saver versus spender aspect. So we always try to convince the other who is not as much involved to get somewhat involved, or at least have an idea of what's going on. Sometimes it takes several meetings to get the spouse to come in. Usually they're here at the beginning, and then you notice one spouse kind of fading off because they, don't have an interest, or sometimes they don't really care, to be honest. So we always try to loop them back in one way or another, because what happens if the person involved, has a health event or passes away, or, you name it? Well, the other one who doesn't want to be involved needs to have a good idea.
Yeah, they need to at least know, Mark, what the general the 10,000 foot view is. They need to know, here's the totality of what we're doing. They don't need to know the minutia of it, but they want to make sure they know the basics, and they know, we have a plan for this. We have a plan for that. We have a plan. If this person passes away at 67, we expected him to live to 85. What takes place then? And do we have insurance? Do we have long-term care? Do we have places to pull money and distribute assets? And if that person was the one that was the big budget person, then the other one needs to know how to pay the bills, how to do the budget, make sure that the investments are doing what they're supposed to be doing. We are doing that for them, but knowing why the models work the way they do, just so they know kind of a broad overview of why we're doing what we're doing for the next 10, 15, 20 years down the road.
This story talks about that traditional model of husbands do the finances, women take care of the kids, maybe do the daily bill paying. Do you still see that day to day? Because I know in my household, God bless her, my wife takes care of all the bills. Like if she tells me to pay the gas bill, I'm like, what's our password again to the account? Because I don't know. So what do you see more?
Well, you definitely see somebody that will take the reins. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the traditional models, because a lot of times in today's families, you can have a spouse or you can have a partner. So you may have somebody that is really good with the money. Those are typically the ones that are doing the budget. And then a lot of times our savers are too, because our savers want to see that portfolio grow. They want to see the money get bigger and bigger and bigger. Our spenders, on the other hand, they're the ones that just want the freedom. So they want to be able to have the freedom that the money provides. So I want to be able to do the trips. I want to be able to do the travel. I want to be able to buy the clothes. I want to be able to get my hair done, my nails done. I want to be able to get those things that I need. I want to be able to golf as many rounds as I want to be able to play. And it's that time freedom. It's that money that provides that freedom of what they want to do. So it's whether it's an experience or it's an event.
321-425-8550. It's all a part of the complimentary income plan from the team at the McPherson Financial Group and the great Dolly Parton. Art McPherson, you've had the chance to talk to Dolly Parton before. What was your takeaway?
Oh, Dolly is a sweetheart and a big giver. So, there was a lot of fires back in the time when I interviewed her, and she was giving back to her community tremendously. And she is just a woman that, practices what she preaches. She's just kind of, lives by the golden rule. And she was just a delight. At the time I was interviewing her, she was worth several $100 million. And she treated me like I was family, so how cool is that? She had no stigma about her at all. And it was fun to hear stories about her, how she wrote songs and how she wanted Elvis to sing a couple of her songs and wasn't able to get that done. But Whitney, and how she wrote that I Will Always Love You song. And I didn't even know that. I always knew that as a Whitney song, but it was actually her song. So she's just a neat woman. And it's one of the people you just enjoy meeting.
Dolly Parton's now worth $600 million.
Yeah. So yeah.
Good job, Dolly.
It was about $500 million when I interviewed her. So
she got a new album.
She's grown well.
Run, Rose, Run. She has a hand in Dollywood. She's got a movie about her life coming out. And she said, I'm not going to retire anytime soon.
I just always loved to work. I'll be working till the day I die, I hope. I've always said I'd like to just keel over right in the middle of a song, hopefully on stage, and hopefully a song I've written. But I'd take anybody's song as long as I could go out, with a smile. But I really hope to work for a long time.
So I'm
Dolly,
sure,
we don't want you to keel over on stage, Dolly. We just don't want to see that. That's not good, Dolly.
Yeah, we do not want that video.
We want you to maybe keel over at home, but not on stage. That would be sad.
Do you have that, Luke McCarty? Do you talk to clients who say, you know what, I probably should retire, but I want to keep working? Like, do you have to kind of sway them one way or another?
We do. We have the workers who are just, really good at their jobs, and, they love the camaraderie of being at work, and they don't think they can stay at home for very long. And, when you have those, it's more of a conversation of, okay, you can afford to not work. So given that, right, do you really want to work 50 or 60 hours a week anymore? Right? Do you want to do something different? Do you want to be a contractor? Do you want to go get an easier job where it's not as, you have time off, but you're not fully retired? So we do have those clients who are probably never going to retire, but it's usually in a different space, different capacity than what they've been doing for 40 years.
Yeah, what we've had a lot of clients stay extremely busy in retirement, but they're doing a lot of give back. So they're working at their church, they're working at a community, and they're helping their local organizations or charities, or maybe their universities, and they're just doing freelance work at that time, or maybe very low paid type of work, but they can afford to do that. They're just doing it to stay busy. And then they're enjoying travel, and they're enjoying their kids and their grandkids, and they're enjoying golf, or they're enjoying sailing. I have a client that's a professional sailor, and he's going out, and part of his retirement is he'll book his boat out and sail people from here to the Bahamas or Jamaica or wherever they want to go. It's just pretty cool.
So if you're wrestling with that decision right now, is like, should I completely retire or should I do the phased retirement? Well, that's why the initial consultation with Art McPherson and the team at the McPherson Financial Group is complimentary. Let's just see what your goals are, and let's put that plan together for whatever direction you want to go. That number, 321-425-8550. And Art McPherson, we dug deep into the artist vault, and we found your interview with Dolly Parton when she was only worth, about $200 million. But here she is talking about why she started some of her charities and her legacy.
I think we all want to do well in our lives, and if we've been lucky enough to see the dreams come true that we've dreamed in our early days, I think you need to start early on to try to do some things where you can leave some things behind, not just for people to remember you, but for things to help. Mm-hmm. And it's always been my belief that once you get in a position to help, you should. And so you should also choose charities that are close to your heart, that you can really enjoy doing. And that's why my Imagination Library is so great, working with children in any way. But I just think you need to do those things that you can leave behind, where your family, your relatives, and just other people can look, and that can be an example to say, well, I can learn from that. Let me, do whatever. So I've been blessed that I've been an inspiration, or some say that I have been, to people, or to look up to how I would handle something, especially being a woman in business. I have a lot of young women say, that I've been an inspiration. They can look at my work and see what's going on. But I think it's true with men too. Business is business. So if you've been successful, and you need to, when you think about your legacy, you need to leave behind those things that you can be proud of. And like I say, your family can be proud of, but that can help other people.
You know what? If she were to get mad at me, no matter what it was, I would just start crying. So sweet and wonderful.
She is. She is just a joy. She is absolutely a joy.
Here's another clip from Art McPherson, your conversation with Dolly Parton. Have you ever been to Dollywood?
I have. It was funny, too, because being from Disney, everything is over the top amazing. In Dollywood, the first time I went there, I was only in high school, so it was a family trip, and they literally had people and stuff there, but there was ropes moving their arms and stuff, where at Disney it was all animatronics and, looked real. And it was just wow, this is really Bush League compared to Walt Disney World. But, it's improved dramatically since then. But yeah, I've been to Dollywood.
Another reason we love Dolly Parton, during the pandemic, she continued to pay her Dollywood employees.
That's correct. She did.
I can't love you anymore.
That's right.
Here's
She's amazing.
Dolly Parton talking about Dollywood.
I just knew early on, if I was as successful as I'd hoped to become, that I wanted to do something special like that for my home. The Great Smoky Mountains National Park is the most visited national park in the United States, and people don't realize that. And we get like anywhere from 9 to 12 million people, I think it's more like 12, coming through the park. And I, at that time, I think it was about 9 million when I was having the idea. And I thought, well, I need something like that also to provide jobs for people in that area, also to have things to entertain, not just for tourists, but for the local people as well. Sure. And it has turned out to be a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful thing.
You can hear the entire interview with Art McPherson and Dolly Parton online. Just go to artofmoneyradio.com, click on the Artist Vault. Lots of great interviews from stars of the stage, screen, athletes as well. Again, artofmoneyradio.com.
Thanks for listening. Want more from Art McPherson of McPherson Financial Group? Find us online at artofmoneyradio.com. We are an independent financial services firm helping individuals create retirement strategies using a variety of financial and insurance products to custom suit their needs and objectives. Securities offered through World Equity Group, Inc., member FINRA and SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Investment advisory services offered through ProStatus Group, LLC. McPherson Financial Group and ProStatus Group, LLC are separate entities and are not owned or controlled by World Equity Group, Inc. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. Investment financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. Art McPherson is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Please consult with your attorney, accountant, and or tax advisor for advice concerning your particular circumstances. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Arthur McPherson. Florida Insurance License number A174725.
Today's show has been a work of art.